Alright guys, in this video I'm going to be showing you how to fix your muscle imbalances really quickly using only 5 steps. So you've either noticed that one bicep is bigger than the other, or one bicep is stronger than the other, or something like that. It doesn't have to be your biceps, it could be your quads, it could be literally any muscle group at all. But you've noticed that there's some sort of imbalance with your muscles and you're wondering, how can I fix it? So that's exactly what I'm going to show you. But I want you guys to know that having a muscle imbalance, especially when you're just starting off in the gym, is super common. Like almost everyone I know has had a muscle imbalance when they started in the gym. I did. I've had multiple muscle imbalances, and they are really easy to fix once you know how to fix them. Some muscle imbalances can definitely be worse than others. There's some that can cause long-term effects like joint and back pain and stuff like that. But for the most part, you guys are probably just noticing a little bit of a strength difference or size difference in one of your arms. But either way, this video can help both sides of the spectrum, so make sure to watch till the end. Alright, so the first step or first thing that you need to know, now watch carefully because a lot of people don't actually know how to identify an imbalance properly. A lot of people think that a size difference in their muscles is a muscle imbalance, but it might actually not be. Most people's muscles actually differ in size up to like 1 inch without having any sort of strength defect. For example, my left bicep is about ½ an inch bigger than my right bicep, but there isn't any strength difference. So in that case, it wouldn't be considered a muscle imbalance. That's just normal. So what actually is a muscle imbalance then? I'd say that most actual muscle imbalances are expressed by strength and not size. So for example, if you're doing curls, you might notice that you're able to get like 2 extra reps with your left bicep. Or maybe when you're doing like cable curls or something, you're like lopsided and you're trying to compensate with your stronger arm to get it up, right? In that case, that is a muscle imbalance and you're gonna wanna fix that because it could lead to long-term effects with like posture and stuff like that. Or you could even make it worse over time by giving your stronger muscle more work and more load because you're trying to compensate with that arm. Alright, so how do you go about actually fixing a muscle imbalance and quickly? The first step that I would take is to isolate each side or isolate each muscle. So for example, if you're doing exercises that require both arms and both biceps in your workout, then I would cut those exercises out of your workout until you fix this imbalance. Because like I said, if you're doing exercises, for example, like a cable curl like this, all you're going to be doing is compensating with the stronger arm for the weaker arm's imbalance, and then it's just going to make the imbalance worse over time. So cut out any exercises that are using both arms and start to isolate each side. Alright, now that your routine is full of exercises that can isolate each side, what I want you to do is the second step, start with the weak side. So the reason why you're going to do this is because when you start with the weak side, so let's say my left bicep is weaker than my right, you'll be able to match the amount of reps you do with your left side to your right side. So say you're only able to do 8 reps with your left side, but you're able to normally do 10 reps with your right side. If you start with your left side, you'll know that you burn out at 8. And then you want to match your right side to that 8. So instead of doing your 10, you're just going to stop at 8 so you can match them out and level them out. Now, if you do this over a long period of time, you'll notice that the imbalances actually will most likely go away on its own. But because you want to know how to get rid of the imbalances fast, make sure to watch the rest of the points because this will honestly speed it up like way faster. Something that I forgot to mention is that if you start with your weak side and you go till failure, it'll give you an idea of how bad the imbalance actually is and how much work you're going to have to put in to fix the imbalance. Alright, so the third step is going to help accelerate how fast you can balance out this muscle imbalance. So what I want you to do is do an extra set with the weak side. So when you're doing your workout, say you're doing like 3 sets till failure. Once you finish those 3 sets, do 1 extra set, but only with the side that's weaker. And what this will do is it'll basically cause like more tears in your muscle and it'll cause a little bit more work, which is just going to correlate to more muscle growth as long as you're eating properly and stuff like that. And it'll drastically accelerate how fast you can balance out this imbalance. So the extra set with the weak side is definitely a key point of this video. That's probably one of the most important parts of this video, is doing that extra set if you want the imbalance to balance out real fast. All right, step number 4 is to repeat the process until it balances out. It's as simple as that. Basically just do everything that I told you to do for like a couple weeks or a couple training sessions with that muscle group. And after like a couple weeks or a couple training sessions, kind of test it out and see if the imbalance is fixed. And if it is fixed, then stop doing all this, or else you're gonna now start to create an imbalance the opposite way. And now the arm that was the weak arm is gonna become the stronger arm, and then you're gonna have to redo this all over again, and you'll have to watch this video again because you're obviously gonna forget everything, and then you're gonna have to subscribe and stuff like that. And it's just gonna be tragic, really. But that's okay, I kinda need subscribers and stuff, so like, whatever. And here's a couple points that I think will really help you guys just kind of speed up the process that aren't really a part of like the steps, but they're just good things to know in general. So bulking will help speed up this process because when you're on a bulk, you're getting extra nutrients, which is going to allow for the extra sets that you're doing with the weaker arm to basically have the most effect. Because with the extra nutrients that you're consuming, there's going to be more nutrients that are available for the extra damage that you're causing in the weaker arm, if that makes sense. And then in my opinion, I think that the 6 to 12 rep range is kind of the sweet spot for this, because with muscle hypertrophy, you can build muscle at the same rate within the 6 to 12 rep range as in like the 6 to 30 rep range. So why would you do more work for the exact same results, is my point. Alright, the last part of this video is dedicated to people that don't have an imbalance in like a particular muscle group. So say like your biceps, but it's actually in 2 separate muscle groups. So like your chest and your back. So for example, if you have an overdeveloped chest but an underdeveloped back, it can actually cause back problems and cause you to have posture issues because your chest muscles are too strong or too big and they're pulling your shoulders forward, which causes like a hunch. Right? So if this is the type of imbalance that you have, what I would recommend is to slow down on your chest training and then maybe up the back training a little bit. So it'll basically just accelerate the amount your back is able to put on muscle, and it'll decelerate the amount you're putting on chest muscle. Some people will just be like, oh, well, I'm just going to quit hitting chest and then only hit back and wait till my back catches up to my chest. Yes, that might work, but I think it's just not optimal because you don't want to lose the strength or the size that you have in your chest. You just want to maintain it, right? Alright guys, I really hope this video helped you. And I just hope that whatever imbalance you got, you're able to balance it out real quick. Hopefully it's nothing major. I know some people that play certain sports might grow a more major imbalance in one side of their body. For example, tennis players always using just your right side, for example. You can definitely grow imbalances on one side. So I just hope this video really helps you guys figure all that stuff out. I hope that the information was all there. And if you guys have any questions, make sure to leave them in the comments. We'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.